Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chill English Channel. I'm Sophia, and I'm so happy you decided to spend some time with us today.
And I'm Jake. It's wonderful to have you here again. Maybe you're relaxing at home, driving to work, walking in the park, or simply taking a quiet break from your busy day.
Wherever you are, we hope this conversation helps you feel calm while also giving you natural English that you can understand, enjoy, and learn from.
Today, we're going to talk about something that many people think about but often delay. Our topic is simple, but it can completely change the direction of your life.
Today's conversation is called It's Time to Change Your Life. Start changing your life today.
We'll explore this topic using clear, natural English for B1 to C1 learners. We'll speak at a comfortable pace, use useful vocabulary, and share ideas that you can connect to your own life.
As always, don't worry if you don't understand every single word. Listening is not about being perfect. It's about slowly becoming familiar with the language.
Your English grows every time you listen, even if you only understand a little more than yesterday.
Before we begin, we'd like to ask you one simple question.
Here it is. If you could change just one thing about your life starting today, what would it be?
You don't have to answer right now. Just keep the question somewhere in your mind while you listen.
Maybe you want to become healthier.
Maybe you want to stop procrastinating and finally begin a project you've been thinking about for months.
Maybe you want to improve your English, become more confident, or build better relationships.
Or maybe you simply want to feel happier when you wake up each morning.
Whatever your answer is, remember that change doesn't always begin with a huge decision.
Very often, it begins with one honest moment when you quietly say to yourself, I'm ready.
That sentence sounds small, but it can become the beginning of a completely different future.
Jake, have you noticed that many people wait for the perfect moment before they decide to change something?
Absolutely. People often say, I'll start next Monday, or I'll begin next month, or even next year will be different.
And somehow that perfect time keeps moving further away.
Yes, the calendar changes, but their habits stay exactly the same.
I think many of us have experienced that at least once.
Definitely. I know I have. Sometimes I spent more time planning a change than actually making one.
I think that happens because planning feels safe. It gives us the feeling that we're doing something important.
But planning alone doesn't change reality.
Exactly. Imagine someone who wants to learn how to swim.
They could read books about swimming,
Watch hundreds of videos.
buy expensive swimming clothes,
Even memorize the names of every swimming technique.
but until they actually get into the water, nothing really changes.
Life works the same way.
We can collect information forever, but information without action stays only in our minds.
I like that idea because today we have more information than ever before.
That's true. We can search for almost anything in seconds.
We know healthy food looks like.
We know exercise is good for us.
We know practicing English every day helps us improve.
We know sleeping well is important.
So knowledge is often not the problem.
The real challenge is turning knowledge into daily action.
Why do you think that is?
I think one reason is that change feels uncomfortable.
That's interesting.
Our brains like familiar routines, even when those routines aren't helping us.
Because familiar things feel safe.
Exactly. Even if our current situation isn't perfect, we know what to expect.
But change means uncertainty.
And uncertainty can make us nervous.
Sometimes we imagine the worst possible result before we even begin.
Yes, we think, what if I fail?
What if people laugh at me?
What if I'm not good enough?
Those questions can become very loud inside our minds.
But have you noticed something interesting?
What's that?
Most of those scary situations never actually happen.
That's so true.
We spend hours worrying about events that never become real.
Our imagination can sometimes create bigger problems than real life.
Exactly. Let me ask you something personal.
Go ahead.
Have you ever made a change that felt frightening at first, but later became one of the best decisions you ever made?
Yes, actually, a few years ago, I decided to wake up much earlier every morning.
That sounds simple.
It does now, but at the beginning, it felt impossible.
Were you someone who liked sleeping late?
Very much. My alarm clock and I were not good friends.
I think many listeners understand that feeling.
Every morning, I promised myself I would wake up earlier the next day.
And then?
Then I pressed the snooze button again.
A classic story.
Finally, I stopped trying to change everything overnight.
What did you do instead?
Instead of waking up 2 hours earlier, I started with just 15 minutes.
Only 15?
Yes, it felt almost too easy.
And that made it possible to continue.
Exactly. After a few weeks, 15 minutes became normal.
Then you changed it again?
Little by little, another 15 minutes, then another.
That's a great example.
It taught me something important. Small changes are easier to protect than big, dramatic changes.
I completely agree. People often think they need incredible motivation.
But maybe they simply need a smaller first step.
Yes, a step so small that it feels impossible to refuse.
That reminds me of something I experienced.
Tell us,
There was a time when I wanted to read more books.
did you make a long reading schedule?
Of course I did.
You know me too well. What happened?
I planned to read 50 pages every day.
That sounds ambitious.
It sounded exciting until real life arrived.
Work became busy?
Exactly. Some evenings I felt tired, and 50 pages suddenly felt impossible.
So you stopped.
Yes, then I changed my goal completely.
What was the new goal?
Just 5 pages.
Only 5?
Yes, 5 pages felt easy, even on difficult days.
And did it work?
Surprisingly well, many days I ended up reading much more than 5 pages because starting was the hardest part.
That's a powerful lesson.
Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't the work itself.
It's simply beginning. Once you begin, continuing often becomes much easier.
And that idea doesn't only apply to reading.
It applies to learning English,
Exercising,
saving money,
building confidence.
improving relationships.
Almost every meaningful change starts with one action that seems very small but quietly changes who you become. One thing I've learned over the years is that changing your life is not only about changing what you do, it is also about changing the way you see yourself.
I completely agree. Many people focus only on actions, but our identity often comes first.
That word, identity, may sound a little serious, but the idea is actually very simple.
Identity is the picture you have of yourself. It is the story you repeat in your mind every day.
For example, someone might say, "I'm just a lazy person."
Or, I'm not good at learning languages.
Or even, "I always give up."
The problem is that when we repeat these sentences often enough, we begin to believe they are permanent facts.
Then our actions start matching those beliefs.
Exactly. If you believe you are someone who never finishes anything, it becomes much harder to finish something.
But the opposite is also true.
Yes. If you slowly begin telling yourself a different story, your actions can begin to change as well.
That doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect.
Not at all. It means giving yourself permission to grow.
Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at English," you could say, "I'm improving my English every day."
That small change in language creates a completely different feeling.
It reminds you that learning is a process, not a fixed result.
Sophia, have you ever caught yourself using negative language about yourself?
Oh yes, more times than I would like to admit.
What happened?
Sometimes I would make one small mistake and immediately my mind would say, "You always do this."
That word always can be dangerous.
Exactly. One mistake suddenly becomes your whole personality.
But one mistake is just one moment.
Right. Now I try to pause and ask myself, is this really true?
That's a useful question.
Most of the time, the answer is no. Our minds often exaggerate when we feel frustrated.
Instead of saying I failed, I try saying that attempt didn't work.
That sounds much more balanced. Because the attempt failed, not the person.
I think many listeners need to hear that today.
We all make mistakes.
Every successful person has made hundreds, maybe thousands of mistakes.
The difference is that they didn't allow those mistakes to define who they were. They learned something, adjusted their approach, and continued moving forward. Let's talk about another challenge that stops people from changing their lives: comparison.
Comparison.
Yes, it has become very common, especially because of social media.
Every day we see people traveling, buying houses, starting businesses, getting promotions, or learning amazing new skills.
Sometimes it feels like everyone else is moving forward except us.
But we only see a small part of their lives.
Usually the best part.
Nobody posts videos of the hundreds of quiet mornings when nothing exciting happened.
Or the difficult days when they wanted to quit, or the moments when they felt scared and uncertain.
We compare our everyday life to someone else's highlight reel.
And that comparison is almost never fair. Jake, do you ever compare yourself to other people?
Sometimes, yes. I think it's natural.
What do you do when that happens?
I remind myself that everyone has a different starting point.
That's important.
Different families.
Different opportunities.
Different challenges.
Different dreams.
If two people are walking toward different destinations, it makes no sense to compare their speed.
I really like that image.
Thank you. Life isn't a race where everyone follows the same road.
Sometimes the best comparison is with the person you were 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Ask yourself, have I learned something?
Am I a little kinder?
Am I a little stronger?
Have I become a little more confident?
Even small improvements deserve to be noticed.
Because they often become the foundation for much bigger changes later.
Another thing people often forget is that change is rarely comfortable.
That's true.
We usually imagine that successful people feel motivated every single day.
But motivation comes and goes.
Discipline stays longer.
Discipline simply means doing something because it matters, even when you don't feel excited.
That doesn't sound very glamorous,
No, it doesn't.
but it's probably more realistic.
Think about brushing your teeth.
Most people don't wake up feeling incredibly motivated to brush their teeth.
They simply do it because it's part of their routine.
Imagine if we treated some of our important goals the same way.
Practicing English for 15 minutes.
Writing 1 page.
Going for a short walk.
Reading a few pages of a book.
These actions don't always need excitement. They simply need consistency.
Consistency may not look impressive on a single day.
But after 1 year, it becomes something powerful. Let's imagine 2 people.
Okay,
The first person studies English for 3 hours one Saturday and then does nothing for the next 3 weeks.
I think many people have done that before.
The second person studies for just 15 minutes every day.
At first, the first person may feel more productive.
But after several months, the second person will probably make much more progress.
Because learning loves regular practice.
Exactly.
Small actions repeated many times become habits.
And habits quietly shape our future.
I think habits are interesting because we often don't notice them.
Until we look back.
One day, you suddenly realize that something difficult has become normal.
You no longer need to force yourself.
The habit begins carrying you forward.
That's one of the greatest rewards of being patient.
Speaking of patience, I think many people expect change to happen too quickly.
Yes, we plant a seed today and hope to see a tree tomorrow.
But nature doesn't work that way.
Neither does personal growth.
Every meaningful change needs time.
Sometimes we cannot see our progress because it is happening little by little.
Just like the hands of a clock.
They move so slowly that you hardly notice them.
But when you come back a few hours later, the time has clearly changed.
Our lives often change in exactly that quiet way.
That is why it is so important not to quit just because today's progress seems small.
A better life is usually built through hundreds of ordinary days, filled with small, consistent choices, even when those choices seem too simple to matter.
As we come closer to the end of today's conversation, I'd like to leave everyone with one important thought. Your future is not created by one big decision. It is created by many small decisions that you make every single day.
I really believe that. Every day gives us a new opportunity to choose who we want to become.
Sometimes we imagine that changing our life means making one dramatic move.
But in reality, lasting change is usually much quieter than that.
It happens when you choose to read instead of scrolling on your phone for another hour.
When you decide to practice English, even though you feel a little tired.
When you go for a short walk instead of staying on the sofa all evening.
Or when you decide to forgive yourself for yesterday and simply begin again today.
I think that last one is especially important.
Me too.
Many people spend so much time feeling guilty about the past that they forget they can still make a better choice today.
The past can teach us valuable lessons, but it cannot make today's decisions for us.
Every morning is like opening a new page in a notebook.
Yesterday is already written,
But today's page is still empty.
and you get to decide what you write on it.
Jake, if someone listening feels stuck right now, what would you say to them?
I would tell them not to wait until they feel completely ready.
Why is that?
Because most people never feel 100% ready.
That's true.
Confidence usually comes after taking action, not before it.
So we shouldn't wait for confidence.
Exactly. We build confidence by keeping promises to ourselves,
Even small promises?
especially small promises.
Like reading for 10 minutes?
Practicing English every morning.
Drinking more water?
Going to bed a little earlier.
These actions may seem ordinary.
But ordinary actions repeated consistently create extraordinary results.
Another thing I'd like our listeners to remember is that life is not a competition.
That's an important reminder.
Everyone has a different journey.
Some people discover their passion when they're very young.
Others find it much later in life.
Neither path is wrong.
The only mistake is believing that it is too late to grow.
As long as you're alive, you can still learn.
You can still improve.
You can still become a kinder, wiser, and stronger version of yourself.
And that brings us back to the question we asked at the beginning. If you could change one thing about your life starting today, what would it be?
Maybe your answer became clearer while you were listening. Or maybe you're still thinking about it.
Both are completely okay.
Sometimes the right answer appears after quiet reflection.
Before we finish, let's review some useful vocabulary from today's episode.
Great idea.
Our first word is identity.
Identity is the way you see yourself and the story you believe about who you are.
Next is discipline.
Discipline means continuing to do something because it is important, even when you don't feel motivated.
Another useful word is consistent.
If you are consistent, you do something regularly over a long period of time.
We also use the word comparison.
Comparison means looking at yourself and measuring your life against someone else's.
Another important word is habit.
A habit is something you do so often that it becomes a natural part of your daily routine.
We also talked about patience.
Patience means staying calm while waiting for progress instead of expecting immediate results.
And finally, we used the word opportunity.
An opportunity is a chance to do something positive or improve your situation.
If you'd like to remember these words, try making one sentence with each of them.
That's an excellent way to improve both your vocabulary and your speaking confidence.
Before we say goodbye, we'd like to leave you with one final challenge.
After this episode ends, don't immediately move on to the next thing. Instead, take one quiet minute for yourself.
Ask yourself one simple question. What is one small action I can take today that my future self will thank me for?
Don't choose something huge,
Choose something realistic.
something you can actually finish today.
It could be practicing English for 15 minutes,
Reading one chapter of a book,
cleaning your desk,
calling someone you care about,
writing down one goal for this week.
Whatever you choose, let it be your first step.
Remember, a better life is not built in one perfect day.
It is built through many ordinary days filled with meaningful choices.
And if today isn't perfect, that's perfectly fine.
You don't need perfection to create change.
You only need the courage to begin again.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell us your name, where you're listening from, and one small change you're going to make starting today.
Reading your comments is one of our favorite parts of creating these episodes. It reminds us that people from all around the world are learning, growing, and encouraging one another.
Thank you for relaxing, learning, and spending this time with us.
Keep believing in yourself, keep practicing your English, and keep taking one small step at a time.
We'll see you again very soon here on Chill English Channel. Until next time, take care of yourself, enjoy the journey, and remember that the best time to start changing your life is today.